3 girls saw the prince passing by their door. The eldest sister joked, "If the prince is willing to marry me, I will make him wear the cleanest linen clothes every day." The second sister, not to be outdone, said, "If I marry the prince, I will make sure he sleeps on the softest mattress every night." The prince, hearing their dreams, could only laugh. But at that moment, the youngest girl suddenly spoke up, "I will give him 2 golden-haired children." Upon hearing this, the prince immediately ordered the coachman to stop. He took the youngest girl to the palace, and they married. After the marriage, the prince ascended the throne and became the young king, and the queen quickly became pregnant. However, just before the birth, the prince had to leave for the battlefield. This gave the jealous witch an opportunity. She had always wanted to marry her daughter to the prince, but she never expected that the prince would marry a farmer's daughter, so she began to secretly monitor them. When she heard that the queen had given birth to 2 golden-haired princes, she seized the chance and replaced the 2 little princes with 2 dogs. The defeated king, hearing that his queen had given birth to 2 dogs, furious, ordered the soldiers to throw the queen and the dogs into the lake. But soon, the king regretted his decision. Unfortunately, the soldiers had already carried out the command. Meanwhile, the witch had already buried the 2 real princes by the river. Not long after, the king married the witch's daughter, and the place where the 2 princes had been buried grew 2 golden pear trees. The king loved to rest under these 2 trees, which made the witch feel uneasy, so she persuaded her daughter to convince the king to chop down the trees. After days of persuasion, the king finally agreed to cut the trees down, and had the trunks made into 2 beautiful beds, one for himself, and one for the queen. The witch ordered the soldiers to burn the remaining branches and leaves, and finally felt at ease. But she didn't notice that a goat had passed by, eating the 2 branches that hadn't been burned. Soon after, the goat gave birth to 2 golden lambs. The witch was shocked, and quickly told her daughter to pretend to be sick, saying that only by eating the lamb meat could she recover. So the 2 little lambs were killed, and the maid took the lamb meat to the lake to wash it, not noticing that 2 small pieces of meat were washed away by the water, where they turned into 2 beautiful goldfish. As the goldfish grew, a fisherman caught them, and as soon as they landed, they turned into 2 handsome young men with golden hair. The fisherman was terrified, but the 2 young men asked the fisherman to take them to see the king, saying they would sing beautiful poems, and the king would reward them, and all the rewards would be given to the fisherman. The fisherman agreed and took them to the palace. The young men sang the story of their mother's suffering, and asked the king to save their mother. It turned out that when the queen was thrown into the lake, she was swallowed by a whale. The king immediately led soldiers to the lake to catch the whale, and when they cut open its stomach, they found the queen, who had been swallowed for 17 years, still alive, and in perfect health, with thick hair. The king begged the queen for forgiveness, and severely punished the witch and her daughter. Finally, the family was reunited.